This year's Boston Pride celebrations are harkening back to their roots in the days of activism almost 50 years ago. That's why this year's theme is Rainbow Resistance. To tell us about the many events and the grand finale are a board member of Boston Pride, Tina Rosado, and a sales manager for Big Night Entertainment Group, Jarrett Hanley. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
I want to start with Tina for this year, 2018, Resistance. Why do this now?
Rainbow Resistance is our theme this year. And just a little history about the theme. It's chosen by the people in the community. So they submit multiple applications for names, and it's picked by the community. So Rainbow Resistance is what was chosen this year. And given the political climate, what's going on, I think that it's very important for people in our community to stand together and be inclusive and just support one another. Because there are some people in our community that just don't have the support, say, that some of the other ones do. So we're really excited about our theme this year.
Jarrett, you're sort of a master of entertainment here, but you're not just here for this one event. You go back a bit with Boston Pride, so talk about your background.
Yeah, so I'm a sales manager for Big Night Entertainment Group, and my team does the private events for our 5 Boston venues. And 4 years ago, as an LGBT person in our company, I wanted to do more outreach to let our guests know that as restaurants, we are LGBT inclusive and safe spaces for people to welcome, because they might not just assume that from our outside appearance. And so through doing that, my team and I created a networking event called Open, which stands for Out Professional Executive Networking, and then also a Pride Week specials menu that we offer every year at Red Lantern. So this is our 5th year of doing both these events, and through doing them, we've created relationships with great organizations like Boston Pride and Victory Programs, who we both work in tandem with to support. So it's kind of this year we're coming together and forming an official partnership to bring lots of brand new events for the Boston LGBTQ community to enjoy.
Jarrett, why are those events so important? The networking, for example, is this something that people just couldn't do elsewhere?
There's a lot of different networking events, and kind of when we were first formulating them, Boston Pride was one of the first organizations we approached to say, how can we respectfully, approach the community? What's the right way to do it? And we started with going to HRC's list of best places to work, and found that a lot of them were our private event clients. And just in talking to people, we found that, to go to this event, you have to belong to this organization, or, you have to buy your way in here, whereas we just wanted to create an inclusive space where everyone in the community can come together. So if you're an artist or an executive vice president, let's get together in one room, share ideas, and kind of see if magic can happen. And magic did happen.
Yeah, they've been very successful. Yeah.
Gina, I want to ask you about the kind of resistance that you're invoking this year, because the resistance going back 40 to 50 years ago, it was about changing attitudes in the greater part of society. A lot of those attitudes have already changed now, but at the same time, we've got this referendum coming up this year. We've got a contest in the Republican primary for governor that's not very gay friendly. So I guess there's a need for some response to that.
Well, I think the issue is that people think it has changed a lot, and it really hasn't. LGBTQ, our trans brothers and sisters, they are probably the ones that are still dealing with the most backlash from our community. The trans bill is coming up, I believe, on the ballot, and I'm really hoping that people will vote for it, because they deserve just as much rights as anybody else. And even in our Black community, our Black Pride events that we put on, and with Black Lives Matter and everything, I still think that they're struggling. So I think it's really a push for everybody to come together and make sure that everybody feels inclusive.
This is Vienna News. We're talking about this year's Pride celebrations with Tina Rosado and Jarrett Hanley. Jarrett, what about how these events can help people heal some of those wounds that Tina was describing? I mean, even the grand finale, how does that work?
Well, actually, it's interesting you asked that, because we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando, the largest mass shooting in U.S. history, specifically targeting our community. And I think, Tina, you can agree, it was just such an emotional event, I think, felt around the country. And it's really, that was just a call for our community to rally together. We need more safe spaces. We need to band together to show, to help each other heal and bring each other forward, especially the transgender, one of the least represented facets of the LGBTQ community. They need protection, and when you hide in the shadows, you're less visible. So I think we have a duty to each other to protect and bring each other forward.
Yes, absolutely.
Tina, the turnout was up quite a bit last year, and I guess turnout's a big deal because the more people who were there, the more it matters, right?
Turnout is amazing. I have to say that last year was our biggest Pride. This year is our 48th Pride, and we are going to exceed the number of participants last year. But we couldn't do it without our volunteers, without the support of the mayor, without the city of Boston. It's incredible to see, and I hope that people come out. It's a family, fun, friendly, safe place to come and be. You feel the love immediately. It's spectacular. And I have to say, it's the largest outdoor event in the city of Boston, and we at Boston Pride are very, very proud of that.
And Jarrett, what about the location for the finale in the Seaport District? What was the strategy there?
Well, that's where my company, Big Night, is just really very forward thinking. They're always looking ahead. So when things are just opening, they're already plotting their next move in some aspects. But the Grand, it's so beyond anything Boston has seen before. It's like that brings an element of New York, Hollywood glamour meets Vegas nightlife, and it brings something new that Boston hasn't seen before. And so with our grand finale party, this is really Boston's first big introduction to the LGBTQ community, where we just get to throw a fun party for us and have our night and just let loose and celebrate Pride in a beautiful space.
It's for people in the city and the visitors. And Tina, the other thing about all of these celebrations is, you've got celebrations in the neighborhoods too, but one of the aims here is to raise money for different causes. I mean, last year, hurricane relief in Puerto Rico and some other things. Why is that so important?
So we're very proud at Boston Pride. We do fundraisers, like you said, for hurricane relief, but also, and I don't think that this is publicly known, last year, Boston Pride gave away $30,000 in community scholarships. So that's the reason we do what we do. It's for nonprofits that are small, trying to get a leg up. Sometimes when we have our events and we have cover charges and stuff like that, it goes back into the community. Like I said, we're very, very proud of that. And there's a whole listing on our website to where the money goes, and people can certainly look that up. Maybe they can apply for next year.
And Jerry, what's it like when you're looking forward to these events and you get all of these people, the people here, the visitors, and family members who go out for these? What is that like for you?
It's really special because you see the connection between people, and it's really that one time a year where everyone under the rainbow, so to say, just comes together, and it's just this beautiful expression of love, community, and strength. And so it's really exciting too with the grand finale. All the full proceeds from the ticket sales go directly back to Boston Pride. So it's really very much a community-focused event, even though it's a big party. And
we should mention, Jarrett, if people want to go to the finale, you've got some place online where they can get a ticket maybe or something like that?
Yeah, so if they want to visit thegrandboston.com, you'll find the event page right there. So we have general admission ticket sales and also VIP tables available.
And Tina, you got more information, including the 2018 guide, on your own website at Boston Pride, right?
Yes, and that's www.bostonpride.org.
Thank you both very much, Tina Rosado and Jarrett Hanley.
Thank you.
In a moment, we'll hear about advocacy for parents and economic justice. But first, this message.